Hey everybody,
Hello, everyone.
how you guys doing? Welcome to Wednesday. Again,
Hump day.
it is hump day. It is indeed. It is a packed enough event. In regards to Wednesday, there's a fair amount of stuff that occurred. So, overall, I'd say it's been quite active and there's quite a bit of stuff that we did cut out, but still good. A lot occurred. It's been a good week. It's been pretty interesting. I mean, some of the stuff we're not going to cover too much. PSAC still has their event.
Yep.
Massive. I know you've gone by a couple of times. There was a quick video of you.
And a couple of places, too. So I was just at 233 Montreal Road where they have their protests. Somebody sent me actually a list of where all the protests are going on, like all the locations of PSAC. So that's cool. In Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty, yeah. I mean, Ottawa is going to be covered in regards to PSAC activity, both in regards to just general activity all the way up to, because it's pretty much, we are the nation's capital. We're going to have a majority of the people here, all the way up to, but it's kind of interesting to find out also the additional location, because you kind of forget, since you're in Ottawa, everything's here, but, places like, Sudbury, places like Windsor, places like everywhere else. There's just a lot of, activity everywhere. So it's kind of cool. But let's get things started.
I have a question. Whenever I go into the chat, like I just said hi, but it's showing up as you.
It is.
Is it always going to do that?
It's always going to be that.
Okay, so I'm going to sign D with a smiley face.
That works. Yes, because if not, I get in trouble because everybody thinks what you're saying is me, and it's probably not the best look for me. I kid. No, it's great. So let's get things started. In regards to, well, you and I went out on Saturday. We did. So actually, before we got on Saturday, let's do the previews as usual. As always, we have the Ottawa Activism Discord, and we're starting to build up. If you guys want to join, you can go into my link tree and go to the very top and join through the Discord link up there. If you're following Deana and only Deana, well, you should be also following me, because she doesn't have a link tree and she doesn't have it there. So I'm just publicly shaming her for it right now.
I'll get the link tree done.
We still love her, but
That's your procrastinator.
You are, because then you'd be able to have all your socials. You'd be able to show the our Discord in there, as well as you could put additional things, like also mention the space.
If we're plugging stuff before you get there, I'm so close to 1,000 followers on TikTok. I know I haven't been there, but if you're not following me, can you follow me? Because then I can start live streaming on TikTok, which is really what I'd like to do. Please, thanks.
She's so, and to be honest, she's so close to 1,000 followers, both on Twitter and on TikTok. So yeah, go ahead, follow them both. I think I'm following you on both. I'm pretty sure of it.
I don't know how to live stream on Twitter. I don't know how to do that. So
it's a little weirder. You kind of need tools, unfortunately, for it, and it's a bit of a pain. Additionally, as some of you are familiar with, we have our Twitter Spaces every Friday. So by all means, come join us there. It's always the open discussion to see what's going on and see pretty much how you guys, anything you guys want to discuss, want to bring up. By all means, come join us. Come on out.
Yep.
Now on to Saturday. Deana and I had a chance to go to a celebration for a Day of Pink. Now, this is actually an event that's actually going for about a month's worth of time. So the day part is a little less significant. So it turns out while we were there and this was at a place called Club Saw in the market. We found out that Day of Pink. So when we went there, we were actually there to go see speaker Martin Boyce. So as many people might remember, Martin Boyce's name, you might have first heard about him last week, or the week before, when the Save Canada kids went down to York to North York to go protest a school where he was speaking at.
Yeah.
So there was another Ottawa school here in Ottawa that was going to have him, and I believe did have him, and that was at
Woodruff
High School.
Woodruff High School.
They made the announcement about it, but they kept it quiet, so nobody was there to show up to protest it. So, but we did go there on Saturday to go take a look and listen to him speak, and I will be go ahead.
I was just going to say, after listening to Martin Boyce, who goes to protest that? Like, who goes to protest that? He is he's one of 4 remaining survivors of the Stonewall riots. This is the gay liberation movement at its beginning. So it's just insane that you would try to prevent someone from sharing a piece of history with high school children. It makes zero sense. You go ahead, Joe. You were gonna prop him up, and he deserves all the props. He's phenomenal.
He's absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I can do him justice in regards to prop him up. But yeah, to give us a little bit more information there. As exactly as Deana said, he's one of the 4 final remaining known survivors of the Stonewall riots. Yeah. He's right now on a cross country trip across Canada to share his story to as many places as possible. I believe he was mentioning his next location that was going to be is Montreal, and knowing said, well, you're definitely going to have a wonderful time. So I've been to Montreal before. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. Like, it's wonderful food, wonderful everything. And he's going to be going there on his birthday, who's just recently turning 75. So I'm like, you're really lining up for a wonderful 75th birthday if you're going to Montreal in that case. But absolutely, I mean, this is one of the men who not only witnessed sort of that, but he also had a fantastic ability to retell the story. Like, as he's explaining it, he really drew you a picture. And I do have an audio clip we don't have a video clip, but we do have an audio clip that we're going to let you listen to. Yeah. To listen to, so you guys can hear a little bit as to what's going on, and just to hear what he had to say in regards to sort of the beginnings, of what life was like sort of in New York as a member of the LGBTQ, as well as that particular night, and what sort of changed everything at that particular moment. Now, a little bit of a warning here, and as is his language is a little older in regards to he'll refer to the LGBTQ as the gays, and that includes the entire LGBTQ, but that's just how it was referred to by him. Him at his age, and a couple other terms I don't recall.
There was dyke, and that is basically a female who is gay. I can't remember the other ones, but they gave a disclaimer in advance just so people could understand his lingo, because that's the terminology that they used back then. So,
to which I will give you Mr. Boyce.
New York City, 1969, the greatest city in the world. Everybody knew it. There was no discussion, no discourse, no magazine articles, but the CEO knew it, the cab driver knew it, and the guy that gave the Frankfurt at Times Square knew it. Amazing city. It was also one of the most dangerous cities. Dangerous, completely. Because it was a very difficult period. The police wanted us in jail, and the psychiatrists, the helpers, wanted us in mental institutions, and the clergy wanted us in hell, and straight people thought that the word justice meant just us. But then this cop started dragging this Latina queen, and really dragging her, and she looked like a character. I couldn't even make her out. She was fighting so. And he threw it in the back of the paddy wagon, and that was it, he thought. We all thought. So he looked away, and she took her foot and kicked him and sent him flying. Nice. The first inkling that this night would be like no other. I didn't know it. He dropped, the case left, he looked, he got up, he touched himself. All after was that poor Queen's doom. He went in the back of that paddy wagon, and you heard flesh and bone against metal, and this dripping sound that wasn't like water, and a horrible sound that was losing consciousness. And he came out and closed the door, and I couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. Nobody. I turned to Bertie, and Bertie said, tried to make sense of it, said, well, she resisted. Yeah, but he closed the door, and like always, he turned to us and he said, all right, you homos, you saw what you're gonna see, learn your lesson, and get out of here. Sure enough, the crowd started to move, and we're going to move away because that's the way it always was year after year after year. And I was really young, and the history of this stuff. But not that night. Something happened. Everybody started moving towards him. He had turned his back. I could see the hairs on his neck go up. And he turned around to say it again. And he saw our faces, and he ran. Blink, gulped, and ran to the bar.
Are you playing another one?
No.
Okay.
Start off with that one. Sorry.
No,
having
it's
some
okay.
weird technical issues here at the
I
same
was just
time.
trying to figure out what was happening.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having some weird technical issues trying to... I know the video was playing, but I couldn't get the proper response back. But now I know we're good. So, yeah.
So essentially, since we're not going to hear the rest of it, the crowd started throwing bottle caps and pennies and stuff at the cops, and then he mentioned something about there being a thump thump noise, and it was basically the what are they called, the ones that were in riot gear, the riot cops came.
It was a riot cops that came in. So I that particular clip there was the one that sort of got me just before we got to to the escalation and everything else. It was the one that kind of got me there because he kind of illustrated sort of these raids weren't uncommon, as he explained it. This is and explained it over the entire thing. These were common raids. This is something that they were used to every. This was something that was going to happen every sort of couple of nights, or whenever whatever frequency they'd be. The raids would come in, the cops would come in, they'd beat them up around a bit, and that was it. And this is something that they started just getting used to. And it was just interesting in regards to his explanation of that one. Like, this was the night that just, they've been up to this point, always been getting beaten on, always being harassed, always being arrested. And this was the first night. He's like, and we could just tell this was the last night that was going to, or actually this night was going to be different in how we respond to it. It wasn't going to be the same. We weren't going to just sit there. And exactly like as you said, you heard him, like they chased off the cops into the bar. They locked themselves, and the cops were still safe and fine. But this was huge. This was different.
Well, they started lighting things on fire after. So, So I think there needs to be some context. Sorry, just a minute. I need to let my dog in. I'm sorry. You talk.
It's okay. I will talk. I will try to fill in as Deana would do. Just not as well. But yeah, so it was a lot of detail in regards to just the differences. And so after that particular point, you heard they escalated, they locked them in. They started setting the door on fire where they were trying to, contain the cops and push him back. Then the special riot gear cops showed up, and they knew this wasn't going to go on forever. And he goes into the great detail as to how they kept the cops busy for hours on their streets the entire time. And this was epic in regards to they had a huge effect in regards to the cops there. But as he was explaining the story, it was like the night, because everybody loves to hear the story of the night. That to him wasn't a big deal. And I didn't get a prepared clip for this particular part because it was a little bit more longer and trying to isolate that particular frame for it to be shorter for us to discuss here. It was the year later, after everything from that night, that caused the massive ripple effect.
Before you go to a year later, it's important that everybody knows.
Go ahead.
Before he got into that story, the similarities that that would happen then and that we see now is that he gave a detail about how this bar looked. And he said it was like Noah's Ark, a gay Noah's Ark, if you will, with different chambers everywhere, right? Like different areas. And the gays, which is everybody within the community, so your queens and your trans and your
drag,
whatever, drag, like the queens, and then the different, and then there's different gays, like there were, and they were divided. This was their only spot that they could go to where they'd be safe, but they all had their own areas within the bar. So they weren't cohesive. They were not a cohesive community, but this one night changed things where this happened to the queen and this queen, and they were having none of it. So they together went after the police who have been doing this repeatedly. And so that was the moment that sort of galvanized the community. And then, you know, that's when a year later, you were going to say, Joe, they...
Yep. So absolutely, you're absolutely right. It's so they, from that event, a year later is when sort of everything changed, because after that particular event, this seemed to have united people together, and they started working on everything. And you know, the history books will show you quite clearly, you know, this is when a lot of the LGBTQ organizations start to form, start to fight for gay rights and everything. And they fast forwarded over to a year later. A year later was the first actual Pride Parade.
Yep.
And sorry?
A year to the day.
A year to the day.
That's how Pride started.
Exactly. And it was our first Pride March. And again, I really, really insist that you guys, if you guys find a way to actually get his wording on the event, because he, again, draws an incredible picture of the whole thing. But it's an incredible story of where they start off with a very small group of like 15 guys, I think it was, to march. And the police were harassing them the entire way. And as they're starting to march, you start seeing more people join into it. And it grew.
Yep.
Till they got to the park where the police had to say, well, you guys have to come in shifts. Why? It's like, because there's just too many. Like, and it was just an incredible thing to hear. Yep, I'm just like, holy crap. It's unreal.
Yeah, and he spoke about how important women were in that movement. I won't get into that, but it's just the same scripts that were used against the LGBT community then are the same scripts you're hearing, you know, the pedophile, the groomer. He described himself as a gender bender, so he was much like a Boy George. He used that example, and yeah, like he's just his story was amazing. You get a better appreciation of why there's pride. This was a revolution, essentially, just like any other big mark in history. You are going to have a day of celebration or a week of celebration, whatever. So when people ask, like, why do you have to have a day or why do you have to have a parade or whatever? Well, you have a parade for other types of revolutions. This is why this is a big deal. Anyway, I would love to be able to, if you live in Montreal, you should find out where he is and you should go. If you live in Yellowknife, he'll be there next, like the following week. If you like, you should go. just to hear it.
If he's around, you should go, period.
Yeah. Like it's amazing that, you know, he could tell such an amazing story and tell it with such like detail and humor and, you know, and then to answer questions of people, like he was answering questions and he would get into more different stories about what it was like. He had a very supportive father. His father was Irish, right? And his mother was Italian. Was that it?
I think, or the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he basically described his father was like, I think, ostracized by his family. Like so his father knew what it was like to be an outcast. And so he was able to relate to his son, basically, Martin. And that was really cool to kind of get a little glimpse in that part of his life as well. So
it was again, it was an incredible experience.
Got to have a smoke with him after.
You did?
Lighter. I'm not fangirling or anything, but I just thought it was cool that he was out there smoking and I was at the bar trying to see if they had matches or something because I forgot my lighter, and then I go outside and there he is having a smoke with Jessica, and I'm like, sweet. Cool. He's super like down to earth, laid back, fun. Just very nice, sweet man.
Loveliest man. Loveliest man. Absolutely. And it's again,
he left an impression on me. Let's just put it that way.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's again, it is just it's an incredible story told by a person who's just so skilled at being able to say it too. It was unbelievable. And that's the last sad story. Last fun story we do, because now we get into the more interesting stuff, which is back to reality.
Well, that was reality.
That was reality, but it was
a dose of reality.
But it was sort of like a really good positive thing, just to see sort of good positive change.
Yeah.
But now we go into current times, and one of the first things we want to cover is Twitter Blue.
Yes.
In regards to the changes there. And one of the reasons why we're bringing it up is because there is a bit of discussion here in regards to what's going on. So Twitter Blue, as you guys know, recently has become the only thing in regards to the verified check mark, which it's more than I will agree. I will be the one to say it too. Twitter Blue check marks, like Deana and I have, don't mean verified anymore. And as much as they say it's like, well, verified with Twitter Blue, no. There is no verification. The only thing you verified is that I have a credit card. Whatever claims, and I can tell you from firsthand, whatever claims that they say that they verify in regards to it, only is that I have a credit card. They don't verify my phone number. They don't verify anything else. Just that's it. Now, the good and the bad part of this is, unfortunately, there's been a bit of a campaign, and Elon Musk is right now kind of not regretting, but he's kind of trying to adjust based on his decision for it. So, especially when you start having campaigns of block the blue on site. So people have been seeing it and have been blocking automatically, which is more than understandable, since the majority of the people, and a vast majority, I'll even say the majority of the people, are large Elon supporters, aka large right-wing supporters, etc., etc., etc. So you'll have to block the blue checks, as well as additional. But so like the previous one, where people are now working on writing script programs and other extensions to automatically block them for you. The problem is, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to tell people why I'm Twitter Blue. Like whatever Elon is doing, I don't give a shit. My purpose for getting Twitter Blue, because I've had people, I had people DM me and say, I usually block people. I like your content though. So I explain why I have Twitter Blue, and I just want to make it public. I don't care about the verification. My purpose for getting Twitter Blue is some of the perks that come with it. So I can edit my tweets, which are great. Because you'll see often I'll catch my spelling mistakes and I'll try to, edit it or whatever. I'd rather do that than delete it and try to put it back up. Longer videos, we can play longer videos on there, and I think that's important. You do have a bigger reach, and that's important to me because right now, Twitter is a cesspool of disinformation and misinformation. There's a lot of vile people on there, and these people have Twitter Blue. And so they're able to get out their message to a broader range of people if you didn't block them. They're able to disinform a lot of people or edit videos, which is part of the disinformation. And so I feel like right now we are in a fight. This is a fight between right and wrong. And it's a fight that is pretty brutal. And I'm not ever going to, if I have an option, I'm not going to show up. You guys can clip this and turn it into something it's not too. I'm going to say it. You know who you are. I'm not going to show up to a gunfight with a knife. I need to use the same weapon that these people are using to get their disinformation out there. And I feel a responsibility to do my part in trying to correct the disinformation or misinformation. So this is why I have it. And hi, Frankie. Bye, Frankie. My cats are weird today. They're all lovey with me today. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, that's why I do it. So I completely understand if people want to block because of principle. I am the same. I don't shop at Walmart for a reason. It's principle. But if you agree with my position and you want to stay, then that'd be great too. But that's why I do it. Yeah. And I'll amplify your really awesome comments and tweets and stuff like that. So not everybody has to get Twitter Blue, but if you hang out with somebody with Twitter Blue, we can get your message out there too, to wider range of people. And you guys are like, the other people who know who I'm talking about are really great. Like you guys are, catching the hypocrisy, you're calling it out, you're funny, you're in the face. Like we're doing exactly what we need to do to counteract the bullshit that we're seeing.
Agreed. You're absolutely right because I'm no different too. I'm also got the blue. I just don't have my check mark right now because I made a change in my profile. I can't recall. Oh yeah, it was my profile photo. So if you want to hide your check mark, because somebody actually messaged me asking me about that, you make a subtle change to your profile, and somebody at Twitter needs to verify that your profile change doesn't offend Elon Musk.
Mike Ketch is making me laugh.
He's pretty awesome for that. But I try to do the same thing too in regards to the check mark. I try to use it for what we can in regards to making positive change and using it. Again, I've got the same thing. I'm trying to push it out. I'm obviously trying to push out some videos in regards to a larger size, trying to use a larger reach. And I am trying to retweet a fair amount. If you take a look in regards to other people of content that I think is a good idea, like obviously people like Not a Convoy, TikTok scientists, as well as some of the ones that have been around for longer, like Vancouverisms and everybody else. So it's kind of a mixture of trying to do both, as well as not only just bring out my message, also bring out other people's message. I think that really does need to. And if you're following me, hopefully you agree with a lot of the messages that Paul, Deana, and I are trying to send out, as well as the people we're trying to retweet, which is usually the same message. But this particular tweet I also just left on the screen here, I wanted to talk about briefly too. And it has to do with some of the changes that's kind of coming with So this is one that's brought by Brian Cranston, and I think I missed out the other image I wanted to bring up into this too, which came from Elon Musk. So even though the blue check marks are now sort of the sign of payments, they also have additional value that could be a little bit insidious, and this is a bit of a problem. So if you do block the whole thing, that's cool. Unfortunately, you may be blocking out collateral, like, for example, myself, Deana, people like Brian Krasenstein, who is not a right-wing person at all. But he does bring out something, which is the algorithm now is adding 4 times the weight to posts made by people with Twitter Blue. Hence why I like to, do a retweet as well as Deana does, because we know our retweets might add some extra weight to it to give you guys a little bit bigger volume. And we'll do that for free because we're nice. But something was also another post I didn't get a chance to put in there, and it had to do with Elon Musk is now also talking about Twitter Blue people are now going to be able to downvote tweets.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again. I don't know what that means. Did you say download?
Downvote.
Downvote.
So it's a bit of a Reddit
you can
term.
Give a thumbs down.
A little bit, but you can not just to the tweet, but more to the account itself.
I don't understand.
So the Twitter Blue, and this is where as soon as I saw this, I'm like, I don't feel this is a good thing because this is already going to change the direction of Twitter. So this one was something he posted up, and the text read that coming shortly, people with Twitter Blue will, whenever they block and mute people, will decrease the volume of that account in general. So as our tweets are more powerful because we pay for Twitter Blue, whoever we block or we mute will decrease their volume.
Why? Why would he do that? Why is he making it less attractive for people to be on Twitter? I don't understand.
Because he's only viewing it one way, which is making it more attractive to have Twitter Blue. So a couple of people are.
But what if I have Twitter Blue and I block you? I'm downgrading you. But you have Twitter Blue.
Yeah, more than likely, blue to blue probably won't make a difference. This is more.
What is this? A game of fucking chess? Like, what are we playing here? What is this stupidity?
It's a game of elitism, is what it is. So what's going to happen by this is that people who have blue will be able to amplify or mute the people who are not paying. They'll be the pawns to.
But then those people will never want to buy Twitter Blue. They're not going to be like, oh, let me be part of this. They're going to be like, fuck this. This is a shit place to be anyways. It's not. That doesn't inspire people to want to do it.
No.
It inspires them to get better at Mastodon.
I'm not saying Mastodon is the solution. There are a fair amount right now, and another one that's no. I agree. Agreed. Like for example, I think another one that's right now coming around is somebody was mentioning it was what's it called? Blue Sky, which is made by the person who made Twitter.
Oh, Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey. He's got a new one that he came out with. So, and Rachel Gilmore just said she's just got her access to it because it's right now in early beta. I'm like, I want an invite. Okay. But I don't have that kind of pull at all. So
I haven't figured out Mastodon, by the way. I just don't know how to do it. And I feel lonely and blackness. I need to change it to out of dark mode so I don't feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I'm all by myself in there. Like, I don't even know how to do it. But I'm not going to get into that.
Mastodon is a bit of a challenge. It's not so much a challenge as much as a lot of stuff that Twitter does is pretty much that timeline wall.
Yeah.
And they have a timeline wall too on Mastodon. The problem is that Mastodon, your timeline wall is only filled with your followers. That's it. That's all. While Twitter gets a little bit more creative in the sense of they will do a timeline wall, but they'll also, based on your likes and dislikes and so on, they will start populating things that will not only get you based on the stuff that you're subscribed with, but they'll also go one of like, well, you're commenting on these kinds of stuff, so we'll also see, we notice you comment on those guys. We'll also start sending you this. Oh, we know these kind of posts you really hate and these people you don't like because you're mad, angry about them. We'll definitely give you some of those. So Twitter algorithm is kind of based on not just sort of, they'll try to key up into your interests and stuff that both the stuff you like and don't like, just to keep you in there. Facebook's no different. And most of the other ones are no different, because their idea is, on social media, is I want to keep you on my platform so I can sell you as many ads as possible. Mastodon's a little different because they're not selling advertisements. Therefore, there's no algorithm to keep you engaged. So it's a little different.
Okay. I'm all alone in there. It's lonely. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to find followers. I don't know how to follow people. It doesn't matter though. I don't care. What I like about Facebook
I haven't been playing much.
is that Facebook gives you memories. That, to me, like, if Twitter could give me memories, that'd be okay.
No. You don't want Twitter memories. Think about that.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
What possible memories would Twitter bring back to you? I know the shit I do on Twitter. None of that shit needs to be relived. None of it's good. No.
I like it. I like memories.
I don't disagree with the idea of like memories are good, but I'm just like,
have a chance to comment on it again, whether you agree with that perspective that you had a year ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, or you don't. And you can be like, well, that didn't age well, or,
I'll tell you what. Shortly, I will go through your timeline of Twitter and take random tweets from different years and just spit them back up at you.
It won't work because I only really got into Twitter back in August 2022. I started in 2012 because
good enough. I'll make it up.
was on Twitter, so he said it was the best thing, and I'm like, I don't really like it here, and I did a little bit of it, but then I dropped it, and then 10 years later,
I'll do the August stuff then.
And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to be on Twitter because that's where all the information seems to be with this Convoy shit. So, I mean, I saw some of it on Facebook, but Twitter was way more.
So all I'll do is starting from August, because that'll be fun. It'll tie in with the whole Tupac thing in May.
Yeah.
But you just brought up the Convoy.
I did.
You did. So speaking of the Convoy,
we're planning a convoy. I'll give you guys a sort of an estimated date.
Yeah.
So we're shooting for June. Okay. We're planning it a 4 to 6 week planning. There's other protest groups in Toronto that aren't able to come to Ottawa. So we figured we're just going to go there and hype it in a way that we're going to get major support. There's no respect to Canadians by the government. They just write garbage laws to tell us what to do. That's exactly what they're doing. And it's been like that for a while. And believe me when I say this, I spent lots of time reading procedure books for the House of Commons. I mean, I probably know how the government functions better than they do right now. And so basically it's a street gang. Our government is guilty for mass death and genocide. If it's not Indians, it's been our own people. Isn't that serial killing? That's mass murder. Why aren't we creating our own shadow government or just create a new government? We can do that because all we have to do is stop voting, stop participating in the system. That's an option that Canadians do have. All we have to do is start working with the tribes. How we would be able to do this is we need to have representatives as Canadians, okay, that are non-tribal, to act as their own sovereigns, strike a deal with the tribe sovereigns. I thought about doing the independent candidate thing. That could work. So other solutions, we could go directly to the king and start forming, start working on creating a new government and going to international court with it. Who was it? The Iranians, the Persians, the Palestinians, Italians. The Sikhs even. The Sikhs are pretty upset right now. Even the Polish,
Sikhs are pissed.
the Polish community, like all these little communities that have halls and stuff, right? They're all mad at the government. Even me. I just got screwed by the government again just recently.
What do I want to laugh about first?
Prince
So-
Charles, can we sit for tea? We have something to talk about.
So yeah, and exactly as we were discussing, because I think you and I discussed that, like picturing him running up to Buckingham Palace in his little shirt and his tie,
Hello.
still no belt, trying to meet King Charles
Because
at
Gigi wouldn't give him the time of day, so he's gonna just go to Gigi's boss now. He's gonna go right to the top.
he didn't get PP, he didn't get Gigi, so he's going straight for Casey.
Prince
King
Charles.
C. Yeah,
PC.
exactly. No, not Prince Charles, King Charles now.
Oh, Casey, you're right.
That's right. Yeah, it's Casey now. It's King Charles.
Has he been?
Coronation's coming up, I believe.
Yeah, I thought
Coming
so.
up. But right now, I think he still does have the title King Charles.
Are they gonna change all our money?
Oh yeah, that's a whole different. Yeah, that's a whole different discussion. It is.
Okay,
it's going to happen over time, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So King
Start
Charles.
saving your coins, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be
Not
worth
all
it.
of them, but whatever.
It's not going to be worth it. It's kind of cool of a novelty, but that's it. Anyways, so he's literally carrying it, going, well, I'm going to see your manager all the way up to the fucking king.
What? You're not gonna read my petition? I'm going to the king. Like, he's such a jester. He is a joker. He's a fucking joker.
First of all, I don't believe the Carabiner is going to be able to cross the Atlantic. I want to start off with that. Unless he gets a little although I'm picturing a bunch of floaties.
Can you take a plane if you're not vaccinated?
It's true. It's true. So he can't take a
Call the
plane.
king.
Mm.
He's gonna DM the king. He's gonna find his Twitter account and private message him.
Yeah, he's going. Well, yeah, he's going to send a notice to the king. Notice of liability to the king.
I'm suing you for making Canada so shitty with Justin Trudeau. How dare you? How dare you?
Oh,
How dare you, King Charles?
it is absolutely ridiculous, and it's.
So he's saying June in this clip, but he's
I got two more clips.
Okay.
So before we get to that, I mean, so in this one here, the next one here, he talks a bit about, well, you know what? I don't want to ruin it for everybody.
I haven't seen it yet.
In order for us to win, we need numbers. We are going to try and fundraise money to rent buses so that we can bus people in from different areas of the country. We can't be waiting anymore. Stop helping all these other countries and shut our borders down so that we can fix Canada first, make Canada great. I've asked people to email me with their phone numbers. I haven't gotten back to anybody up until I'm going to be doing that tonight. So now we just got to figure out ways to bring in the funding. I'm looking at even trying to, try to get one of my small businesses back up and going again. I've invested probably $100,000 of my own money that I have no more.
Right, buddy.
My last 21,000 was in the Convoy. That's where I dumped it. We did what we had to do. So we've had, we had public health come to our house once with police asking us about edibles. So in order for us to raise money, my wife and I, we're planning on either doing catering and we also do cannabis stuff. So I just make edibles and medicine. Now, that's the last try for me because there's no other thing. After that, I'm going to be trying to, if it doesn't work, I'm going to be focusing on creating a new government with the tribes. This is the next process, is knocking on doors. What we've gathered is we're going to make a presentation And that's going to be a questionnaire given to Canadians at every door with them to sign the petition as well when they're there with a canvasser. And yeah, man, I mean, we jump right in there. I'm not afraid of nothing. And I lived on the streets and killed people in downtown Sudbury, and blood on, I mean, there's blood on the walls, right? So the condition of our city is pretty bad right now. It's ridiculous. It's savage.
So before we get into it, big thank you for those first two videos by Not a Convoy. You saved me a lot of time for that, because you summarized him and saved me from having to go through his entire life on that particular video.
Can I just give him an idea? He's never going to follow through. So if anybody wants to take this idea.
Really? He doesn't seem like that follow through type of guy? Shocked.
Yeah. If somebody that I knew was in catering and they knew how to do cannabis desserts and they actually got a license, I would call my business Catering and Cannabis. Go run with it. Take it. Sure. Anybody, just do it. But it'd be cool to have a business like that. He's just never going to be that person who's going to make a cool business like that. And if he does, all the power to him. Maybe he'll be too busy to do this fucking bullshit that he's doing and stop trying all of this nonsense that will never fucking go anywhere. I want you to do a catering business. I hope you and your wife focus, because if you're going to run a business, to start your business, you really need to put a lot of time and effort into it. You can't just say, I have a business. You actually have to build that business.
But I mean, we also know about his business history in regards to his other restaurants.
I mean, I don't know that much. You go ahead and fill me in if you want, or fill everybody in.
So to fill everybody in, for those who aren't aware, he did have a restaurant business in the past. I believe a couple of people sort of gave some information in regards to details to it. And if somebody's here, can correct me if I've got something wrong.
Really wasn't.
Absolutely. We can definitely bring it up on the spaces, but he ran a cafe, ran a restaurant, and that's what he got his license for, to do a restaurant. But he decided to also serve edibles in there. Well, there's a whole licensing when it comes to edibles. Yeah. It's not straightforward. But he was, sort of like, no, I've got all my licensing I need. I'm going to do the edibles. Guess what? Government didn't agree with your version of licensing because it's their fucking licenses. Yeah. So
it's like having an alcohol license. Like, you can't just have a restaurant and start selling alcohol unless you've got your your liquor license. You have to be licensed to sell liquor. And if you don't, they will shut you down and they will fine you. The same thing with cannabis. It is a, what the heck is that called? A substance.
Controlled substance.
Controlled substance. So just stop being dumb and do it the right way. Like, fucking read a book. You say that you read the government's policies and procedures and all this shit. How about you start off with reading how to start a business and do that and focus on that. Make some real money, get some real confidence, not this fucking bullshit crap you're doing, and be good at what you do. Right now, you're not good at this, Jason. I'm talking to you because I know you're fucking watching. This thing that you're doing, you're not good at it. So, and you're not making real money off of it or honest money from it. So you and your girlfriend focus on your business, make something of it, be happy. Success doesn't mean you have to have a massive company. Success just means that you are living a comfortable and happy life, and you don't have to be angry at everything. And guess what? If you have this business, you don't need to be vaccinated. Like, you found something that enables you to even employ other people who don't have to be vaccinated, right? Like, you can do something for this community that you so deeply care about. Like, whatever it is you're trying to do right now is dumb. You don't have people backing you up, and you suck at it. That's all.
I'm not going to follow that because there's nothing I could say that could possibly follow that. Except for He's not done.
Like I said, there's a few options for us. We're planning a convoy that's probably going to be pushed till August. I've been talking to a lot of people. There's been a consensus to keep it maybe to August. Next month in May, the Liberal young leaders are going to be in Ottawa. And I think all of us should be down in Ottawa in May to protest because it's Liberals, right? They're trying to push their narrative. And I think we should put a stop to that, or, maybe challenge it. But so that's where we're at right now. We thought about pushing this convoy a little earlier, but I think August is the right thing, because even farmers, I got calls this morning from friends and a couple other farmers that said it would be great to wait till after they're done.
They're putting you off, Jason.
So we could get farmers to show up at our protest.
Nobody's calling you, Jason.
You know what? He didn't even talk to the farmers. The farmers didn't tell him that. He listened to our fucking live where we said, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is when the farmers would go on strike. This is when they went on strike last time. That's what it is. This guy doesn't.
We're his source of information. That's
100%. That 100%.
That's kind of weird.
No, he's watching right now.
Either now live or day or later in recording, which is fine. But it's still one of those, like, the source of information. A, flattering. B, weird. You know what? I'm okay with it. All right, I'm good with it.
Well, I just, like, stop pretending that you're talking to farmers. And even if you talk to them, it's like a girl that you keep asking out that just says, maybe we'll go out in a couple of weeks. I've got, like, exams and stuff. Or, oh, I'm just really busy this week. Maybe try calling me next week. Because they don't know how to say no.
Or they're concerned.
Yeah. Or, they're, like, wondering what your next move is because you're loopy. So, none of this is happening, Jason. Not with you anyways. I'm sure there are people out there that can inspire people to come out and be clear about what the cause is. They can mobilize people. It's not you. That's it. It's not you. Go start your catering and cannabis. Get her done.
It's never you.
It's never you.
It's never you. Yeah, I think it's that particular story. His convoys have lost a lot of wind. I mean, we saw people move away. We saw in regards to, like, this is not the event. His strongest event, which was April 1st, had around 150 people, but he promised 5,000. And he lost people who were going to be sort of, following him, that would bring kind of numbers, or were the kind of numbers. I don't think he's going to get much more, because he's not going to have people who are going to have any trust or faith in him. It's not there.
The minute, here, I'm going to give you all a tip, you planners of convoys. The minute you say out loud how many people are coming, we know you're full of shit, because you're boosting. Anybody who plans a protest doesn't assume that there are going to be thousands of people there. What they do is they ask for supporters to come out and please make it big. And then what happens after that, because it's organic. But the fact that you think, for whatever reason, that everybody's going to drop everything. Like, does he even have 5,000 followers? I don't even know. So why would you think you're going to pull out 5,000 people?
Well, it's something I didn't get captured in that video there, or not a convoy I didn't have there. And it's something I tweeted out before, which is like, he's announced his new convoy. It's coming up. He's got 150 vehicles secured that are going to be coming out in the convoy.
Busing out. Yeah. Like, I want to.
Well, there's the busing out, but he's also got the 150 vehicles and all sorts of different kinds that are going to be coming out. I'm like, where's the hell were those 100?
He's full of shit.
It's not even boosting. It's full. Yeah, no, you don't call it boosting. It's full of shit. It's just period full of shit. Because I'm like, if you had 150 vehicles, where the hell were they for your first convoy? No, you've got nothing. There is nothing. You done, bitch.
And
Bye,
now
Bish.
he's trying to get buses because the last
Or
couple
what?
of
Empty
times,
buses?
well, the reason why is because the last couple of times he's trying to get people out there and they don't want to come out because they don't want to spend their money to come out. They don't want to do it. So
They're
they're not
just
going to
looking
take
for an
the
excuse
trucks.
to say they're not going.
Well, and so right. And so now he's going to try to he's trying to drag the horse to water. They don't even want to come to the water, let alone drink your fucking water. And
Yeah.
so he's like trying to like I think he thinks that it's just too he realizes that it's too difficult for people, but the bus is not the issue. We've talked about the issue. The issue is, leaving your family or bringing your family. It's a big deal, like to cart your whole family to something.
It is.
It's money. If you're missing work, it's more money, or it's possibly like your vacation time. No thanks. Like, what do you think is going to happen if everybody comes out to protest? I guess that's the biggest question. Do you think that 5,000 people come out to the Hill or to Toronto, wherever the hell you're going? Yeah, this is my milkshake, by the way. If you think that you're going to have 5,000 people there, what's the point? Like, what are you don't have a point. This is the problem. There's no point.
It's kind of the
No
weird.
message.
Yeah, no. His message is not something that's sort of engaging to people. It's kind of a weird sort of loop
We
kind
can
of
hate
thing.
Trudeau at home. We don't all have to fucking stand together in a fucking city
Yeah.
and say we hate Trudeau. That's not what you're fixing, hating Trudeau.
Yeah. So it's not going to motivate people. I mean, we can go on a little bit more with him, but unfortunately, we got some more stuff to cover on him. But yeah, absolutely, he's not getting anything. It's not progressing, and he's going to have to figure out something else if he wants to get people to move. Unlike what's coming up next, which is now we're going into the second half of the meeting. Sorry, the evening, which is going to be slightly harsher stuff. So, speaking of things that are coming to Ottawa in June, that have some people that's kind of depressing, I bring you Save Canada and Billboard Chris coming here to spread hate to kids.
For those who don't know, Billboard Chris is as vile as they get. He is
A fucking douche.
he's a fucking douche, and his arguments are crap. He tries to bombard you with all these different studies and articles. So he'll be like, read this article, blah, blah, blah. And then you go into the article and there's like 5 different hyperlinks in each of these articles. Of course, the people who are full of hatred, he knows this, and so do the people writing these articles, know that these people full of hatred are just going to accept what they say because they sound like they're saying it confidently, and they're never going to go and follow these hyperlinks. Well, I had the displeasure of debating this guy on one of the Twitter spaces I was on, totally sidelined, and he put all of this shit that he was talking about up in the nest because he's proving that he knows what he's talking about. And I actually went through them like I always did. And I went to these hyperlinks. And no, he's misinterpreting the outcomes of any of the cases brought against these medical clinics out in the UK of all places. We're not in the fucking UK. We have different rules here, first of all. But fine, we're going to take a look at it. And then other links to these right-wing funded, women's Christo-fascist groups. Like, it's utter nonsense and utter bullshit. And so he has a following in the United States. He has a following in Canada. I don't know. Are you going to show the clip of when he tried to come the last time?
So no, I was going to pause. So we're going to discuss. I was going to explain a little bit more.
Sure.
In regards to Billboard Chris is coming here in June 9th,
June
as I'm
9th.
looking at the screen, 11
Friday.
o'clock, because it's actually written right here on the screen. And I was kind of curious in regards to why that particular location. So one of the things is Billboard Chris, this is not his first time. In fact,
I just went on Google Maps before you found this. I went on Google Maps and I said to Joe, he's going to Broadview Public School. There's a school right there.
Yeah. So there's Broadview Public School, and I've looked at a little bit more information. It's not the only public school there. There's actually 2 or 3 schools that are kind of closely together, and they're going to probably try to tour around there. So this seems to be a bit of a haunt because this is where he went about 2 years ago, back in 2021 in October. And this is from that particular article there. And some of the shots here. And he was not alone in this particular case. He went there by himself, plus came back there with 2 people in tow. For those who are not aware of those, and especially with those in around Ottawa, on each side of him, that is Shannon Boyce and Chanel Pfaff, both who ran as trustees, both dicks.
Big dicks.
Yeah, no, not big dicks.
Big fucking saggy, floppy, flaccid dicks.
Okay, we'll allow that one. So he went in there again, trying to go through, trying to send the messaging. It did not go well for him because those 3 were outnumbered by 100, 200. Some of the other people who counter protest, including one hero that I thought was fantastic,
Yay.
Catherine McKinney, as well as hundreds of additional students, students and people that went into it for defense. They were surrounded, they were outnumbered, but that was about 2 years ago. He's coming back, and
and things have changed in the last 2 years, right? So things have gotten a lot heavier. And there was a convoy last year and a half ago or whatever, almost a year and a half ago. So those people all found each other and connected with their bigotry and their hatred. So now they have more of a network, if you will. And so we expect this time that it won't just be the 3 of them, especially when they're advertising that they're going to come with the Terror Tot.
Yep. So let's go through this reality here. What we're expecting here. He's coming back. He's coming back with an open welcome from at least the first Terror Tot, being Josh. More than likely, he's going to have a few of them that's going to come with him. So maybe 2 or 3 additionals with him. So that brings up, he may get Boyce and Chanel with him. That suddenly grows a number. Right there, they're now doubled. All right, no big deal. Hang on, we're not done yet. Save Canada will also probably tap into Daisy. We'll bring in the entire Wellington local regulars.
Dipshits.
All the dipshits.
The Wellington dipshits.
Yeah. So you can now add in a 10 to 15 on top of that. You've now doubled the number. Not done yet. These guys have also connected over to Holdfast. They're going to show up. Save Canada has also got Dax McGee that's in there.
Is going to be there.
Sorry, well, before the nurse, but Dax McGee is also connected to that, which brings in the church. The church now comes into it, which is by a biker church. This number has now gone from the original 3 to probably 30 to 40.
Yeah, I think there's going to be 30 to 40. So we need to be 300.
Minimum.
At least. I'd like 400. I'd like us to outnumber them 10 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that important. So it's another month and a half away. You have time to book the day off. You have time to arrange your schedule so you can be there. You need to be there. This man, just look him up. He's the one who got in the fight with the trans woman just a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
After he grabbed her.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the story, isn't it? Where they do the first touching and then the person is like, I'm not having it. And all of a sudden they're like, with assaulted. Fuck off. Fuck you. We're all going to defend ourselves. So I have a Facebook Live too. I should probably find it and retweet it so you guys can listen to how arrogant and narcissistic and piece of shit this guy is. He is a fucking piece of shit. And Shannon Boshi, everybody knows how I feel about him. He's a fucking piece of shit as well.
Not on Christmas, not on your Christmas list.
Yeah, not on my Christmas list. I don't know enough about the third person you mentioned. What was her name again?
Chanel Fowl. She
I'll have to
also
look
like,
her up.
yeah.
People
also
will
like
DM me some shit about her. I'll take a look.
the short of it, she was also she ran as for Canada as a trustee, like Shannon Boshi.
That doesn't, yeah, but that doesn't tell me anything. Anybody can run. They could be good people and run and not.
Same platform.
Okay. So just a vile, stupid bitch piece of shit. So, yeah. And then we know the people who showed up at the OCDSB meetings. Those are the people that are going to be there. Like I'm talking about the Daisies and the fucking loser ex-nurse and the fucking I meme, therefore I, whatever his fucking dumbass name is. Like those disgusting pigs are going to be there. So we need to, like I said, outnumber them. So please mark your calendars. Carling at Broadview, and they're going to be taking a short walk. We know what that means. Yeah. I don't know. I hope people come out. Please. Please. You don't have to say anything. In fact, this is one of those.
You guys need a ride? Let me know. I'll give you a lift. Like.
Yeah. If you guys need a ride, we'll give you a lift for sure. You know, I hope they're not going to be allowed to go within a large distance away from any of the schools. This should not be making it to the schools. Public schools, these are like young children who are at these schools. What the fuck are you doing? So you better not be going to the schools. And if they are, we need to stand in their way and we need to block them. We just need to stand firm. And the police
We need people.
should make sure that they barricade or close off certain areas. They can do that. They should do that. They have enough time to do that to make sure that none of this gets anywhere close to any of the schools. Yeah. What the fuck? This is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
This ain't the bullshit.
It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I know it's all bullshit, but this ain't the bullshit.
I need milkshake.
So while Deana gets more milkshake, we get into the next bullshit where it actually gets into bullshit. Whereas I leave Ottawa and bring us over to the township of Norwich in Oxford County in Ontario, where it has been a bit of middle ground. It's been a bit of a battle in regards to pride flags, in regards to flying pride flags on municipal property during Pride Month, June. So this coming up, they've been having a whole thing, and they actually had an entire ordeal about this thing. So now most of us know that, it's like, well, it's a pride flag. What's the big deal? Well, if you're in Norwich, they made a big deal about it, and hundreds of people showed up. And as I'm seeing this, I'm like thinking of the OCDSB meetings that Deana and I have been to, in regards to these people showing up and large amounts of people showing up and saying their opinion that doesn't really match with the rest of the population. At the end of this particular meeting, dear old Norwich County voted against pride flags to be flown on municipal lands. So as of June, they will not be proclaiming June Pride Month, and they will not be flying flags on municipal property.
Oh, I thought it had to do with just the flag part. Why are they canceling Pride?
No, they're not canceling Pride. They're just not proclaiming it.
Okay. So I have a solution. Don't fly a flag. Fly 7 ribbons, like wide ribbons, one on top of the other. They can blow in the wind. It's not a flag. It's 7 ribbons, or 10 ribbons if you want to add the other colors, or 11. There are creative ways around this. People can bring their flags and fly their flags, but on municipal property, if they don't want to fly the flags, fly something else. Or people stand there on municipal property and fly their flags. Just make sure that the right size pole, so that they don't, kick you off for not having the right size pole. It's bullshit. To me, it's a hiccup. These people will be outnumbered now that they did this. The majority of people believe in the right to be part of this community, the right for anybody in that community to have the same rights as everybody else, to live happy, free, out with the same opportunities as everybody else. So they just happened to get in there with their bigotry. Some of the louder voices were able to push this, but I think their days are numbered, to be honest.
And it's one of those particular things is I can almost imagine, as I was reading up in regards to the articles on this one, I can almost picture the scene, because I feel I've seen this scene so many more times. A lot of the officials like, well, we weren't against Pride. We just banned any non-municipal and provincial federal flags, so that, we're not against anything. We're just saying nothing but the provincial, and municipal and federal flags. That's it.
Is that right? So they don't.
That's what they're spinning with.
They didn't put up like a Ukrainian flag, or whenever it's a certain
Excellent point.
country that we're supporting, or whatever. Are they not flying that? Like,
it's an excellent point, and it's one particular question. I'd be like, yeah, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Did you fly up? Like for Oktoberfest, did you fly a German flag, or for any other special events, did you fly a flag for those?
Bullshit.
And I'd love to challenge them on those ones, like or they might turn around like, well, we did it before, but now we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, we'll hold you to it then. But even still, shady as fuck you did at this particular time.
You're boring. Be boring. Be a boring fucking city. Nobody's going to come visit your city. Nobody's going to spend money in your city. Like, make it as unattractive as possible for people to feel welcome in your city. How about that? Good job. You know what I mean? Like,
it's unfortunately, it's the smallest.
I just want to say that the left is way better at canceling shit than the right is. So, do it.
We cancel boring shit.
Your fucking city.
But yeah, I mean, more interesting is a constant thing I hear, which is it's a small group that has a fair amount of influence, as you were saying. So a small group that has a fair amount of influence that causes that kind of thing. We've seen it firsthand that we're trying to do it in the OCDSB, trying to bring up the anti-trans agenda, trying to bring up, checking the books. Remember, one of them were saying, like, we need to make sure the books aren't teaching you masturbation. I may say that one specifically.
We had a funny laugh today. We should. Joe brought.
We have that one a couple of times, more than just today.
Joe brought up a good point. So you know how Mimi kept saying, like, oh, they teach the kids to do is masturbate. Ask them what 2 + 2 is. They can't tell you. They only know how to masturbate. And then Joe's like, so then I told him how Francine, Mimi, who said this, sent me this fucking poster that connects all these like conspiracy theories together. And he's like, what did you say, Joe?
It's like, well, we can't show it to the kids. They're not going to understand it. They only know how to masturbate. So it's
And then our conversation went way like, bleh, so we're not going to repeat that.
Yeah, no. We already get enough trouble as it is. So it's one of those ridiculous, funny things that we joke about, because the thing is just way over the top.
Kids shit because they're lefty kids and they only know how to masturbate. So fuck that. Like, we can't. How are we gonna take over the world? We're too busy fucking masturbating. Like, that's all.
That's exactly it. That's all we ever learned.
That's all we fucking know.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they think of us as a threat. No, it's and no, they'll turn around saying that's
why we're always happy on the left.
It must be. I think so, but they'll spin it as like, oh no, you're just teaching the kids. I'm like, all right, so none of the kids are able to do anything. So why are you complaining about the kids? They're busy. They're busy. They can't be bothering you. They're busy. But yeah, no,
I'm busy.
Anyway. It was off the rails. But yeah, no, it's literally a ridiculous thing, and it's hard not to laugh at just some of this ridiculousness that you just hear. It's just, you make no sense. Like, if you take 5 seconds to listen to it, like, no, none of this makes any sense. Like, if you take a minute, like, it's beyond the whole thing. But
so if the left can't do math and the right is really bad at spelling
everything
and English,
yeah,
what were they doing while we were all masturbating?
Apparently doing it too, but just not very well because they didn't read up on it. They couldn't. I don't know. It's horrible.
Anymore. It's just so fucking ridiculous. She had people trying to collect her, and these are like the people who are the most ridiculous too. So that was a weird Twilight Zone moment too.
Yes.
It was like.
So yeah, before we get to the next one, you're absolutely right. I want to make sure we cover this one, because so that particular scene. So for those who haven't seen it, I believe it's TikTok scientist that has it. Again, another great person to follow.
Yeah.
Has where that whole entire megaphones episode occurs, where she's talking about 2 + 2 and equals masturbation.
She likes the word masturbate because she said it like every fucking third word.
Absolutely. And the most bizarre, crazy thing that I remember watching this, and both Deana and I were both looking at this, like, it's true. It's like the most insane part of the entire video is not what she's saying. It's not what she's doing. It's the fact that Matthew Venn, who's just as nuts as her, is like coming up to her going, you gotta like tone that crazy shit down a little bit, because you're sounding a little crazy. We need to go a little bit less crazy. And if you ever listen to Matthew Venn, he's not much better. And he's the one. And so when Matthew Venn is telling you you're sounding a little bit crazy, you've definitely crossed a line. I'm not sure what that line is, but holy shit, you crossed it hard.
It's funny.
That's all I'm going to say. Sadly, we're not done with Ontario doing terrible, terrible things because of flags. And we move over to York Catholic School Board, to which the school board has now decided to also get involved into the fight. Tempers flare at Catholic School Board debate over raising pride flag. So yes, a school board for the Catholics. Understandably, the Catholics may have a bit of those issues, but most Catholic school boards, believe it or not, have become a lot more progressive thanks to the Pope. Mm-hmm. Some have not. I give you Exhibit A. So, I'm trying to see if I want to get to the next one. So, before we get into the discussion, I want to bring you a bit of context here. So, they had, again, the same, very, very much, I'm repeating the same story as we just discussed in regards to Norwich, aka Oxford County. That small group of people came in, yelled, screamed, hollered, did whatever they wanted to say, horrifically to people. Except here we have video. Allow me to show you.
Excuse me.
Say that they're born, they might be born in the wrong. And you know what? You guys aren't even caring about the children that want these things.
First note, behind the door that the staff and whatnot are students. They're there to protect the children? Cool. Why are you yelling at the staff who are protecting children behind them?
So fucking vile the way that they're talking to them too.
Absolutely. So
the kids are
initial
in their
thoughts?
learning institution. Like, what the fuck? Why?
As well as we've also said, it was also not mentioned in particularly as we saw the OCDSB meeting and everything else. These schools, in some cases, for some of these trans kids, it's more than just their space for learning. In some cases, it's also a safe space for them to be who they are.
Yep.
They're not even capable of being themselves in their own homes in some cases. Mm-hmm. So this is a huge thing for that particular space to be safe for them. And this is why a lot of the teachers and staff and whatnot are like, no, we need to protect them to be who they are here, because this is their only outlet to express themselves. Again, I remember that one particular speaker that we heard. Fantastic. She was able to speak up about it, saying that exactly, expressing exactly like that was her safe space. This is huge. These need to be protected. And these people just want to come in there to come in. And again, these people, before we go into it, I just want to add in one additional thing. These people include this particular wonder, Monique McKay, who goes around sending notices to all sorts of places like schools and pharmacies and everything else because of vaccines, because she figures she can serve them papers and that'll do something. I believe she's a real estate agent because they always seem to be into realty for some reason. General shitbag.
Can I just say,
yeah, because I can stop you.
Canada's intelligence is not that bad, because when Trudeau said these anti-vaxxers are bigots, I didn't say it that way, so clip it and fuck it up if you want to, but he made the comments that he made, that they're fringe people and they believe in conspiracy theories and they believe in whatever, they're homophobic.
Yeah, he said there's a small section of the group of it.
Yeah. It's bigger than so it's bigger. I mean, it's still a small section, but it's bigger than I am comfortable with. But he didn't come up with that on his own.
No.
He was briefed by Canada's intelligence agencies on who these people are that are planning to come to our capital. Of course, maybe there were some people who weren't sort of feeling that because they were buying into the outside narrative.
Right.
The majority of the people who came, as we can see now, have bigoted views on a lot of things, have conspiratorial views on things, and it's just so fucked up. Like, to hear what that woman is, she's an anti-vaxxer. She is. I just finished watching something on Dacey's thing. He's got this woman who's on there who's pretending she's vaccine injured. And I'm saying pretending. I don't give a shit if you guys think that I'm being cruel. She is not good. There is one woman who is posted that is vaccine injured, and I believe her. She has spasms and stuff like that because it We know
There's a lot of them. No, there's a lot of them that pretend to have spasms.
This particular person, anybody who believes her, like she's not even spasming. I don't know how to say it properly, but she's not even having these spasms. It's not going through her body as it should. So she's trying to do like these movements and stuff, and then trying to lift her leg and like trying to breathe. And no, you don't. You're disgusting for pretending that that's what's happening to you. I've seen it. I've seen that condition before, not just from vaccines, from other nerve degenerative diseases or whatever. She's disgusting that she's doing this. And these people are trying to play this shit out as much as they possibly can. And like I said earlier today in one of my tweets, I think it was today or yesterday, if you have to lie, you know you're not right. If you have to lie, you know you are not right.
Yep. Agreed. Like it's absolutely agreed. I mean, in this particular case, so it's a little bit depressing because I mean these guys went to the and I believe also this. I don't recall the outcome in regards to the York one. Oh, here we go. I just want to bring the York one here. I'm trying to see if there was any decisions for the York one. So yeah, security removed the angry parents from the Catholic school board, which was what we saw there. Started yelling shame. So the crowds were moved out, but I don't believe there was any outcome in regards to it.
Maybe they'll post it tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it looks like nothing really came. No decision was made from it. At least I can see here. A lot of people were commenting in regards to thank you.
I need one of those, Joe. Mine's empty. I need one of those people that hands me a full drink. Where do I get one? I am
blessed to have one beautiful, wonderful person that magically refills my drink. She's absolutely phenomenal.
Will you marry me?
And you just got a marriage proposal.
Leave Joe. Come to me.
From Deana.
I need another milkshake.
I'm not going to say that now. So, she just wants you to make her milkshakes. So,
yeah, I'm going to have to teach Camilla how to make drinks.
Oh.
This milkshake is really good, by the way.
That'll get clipped.
Teach my daughter. These guys fucking get their kids to open beers for them, to go run to the fridge or the cooler and grab them a beer and open it for them and even offer them a sip first. I know who these guys are. I dated these guys, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Exactly what you guys are. Fuck.
There's actually other ways to get your drink mixed for you. I mean, you can actually build a machine that makes drinks for you.
Yeah.
To help you there. So you just sit there, press a button, boom, drink is made for you. I think that's it for us this week. Well, yeah, sorry. One last point I want to point out was that, the article kind of hit me and annoyed me in regards to, while the parents are yelling and screaming at the guards and everything else, there was LGBTQ students on the other side of the doors crying, is what the document and the tweets were saying. And to me, I'm like,
you fucking assholes.
Thank you. Words from my mouth.
Bully pieces of shit. You're adults and you're making children cry. Fuck you. Clip that. Clip that. You're telling these children that there is something wrong with them. You are yelling at other adults saying it is wrong. That is the words that are coming out of your mouth. You are telling these children that who they are is wrong. And it's not wrong. They're not hurting anybody. They're not killing anybody. They're not changing anybody's lives. They are being their authentic selves. And you fucking pieces of shit are standing in their safe space, yelling at the people that they trust to protect them, telling them that they are wrong with who they are. And you say you want to protect the kids. You're fucking disgusting. You're bullies. You don't want to protect the kids. You're just bigots, and you don't want anything different other than you to exist. There is no such thing as erasing women if people are trans. That is the dumbest fucking bullshit. Let me address this now. I've said it on Twitter a bunch of times. Let me say this out loud now. 50% of the population on this planet, 49.53 or 58, let's round it up to 50%, are women. Less than 1% of the population on this earth identify as trans women. There is no threat to womankind, as well as the fact that there are people who are assigned female at birth that are transitioning to be men. Are we talking about men being erased? It's the same fucking thing. Nobody's threatened by men being erased because it's not a fucking thing. No one's erasing you. Go on and live your life. Go get your nails done, your hair done. Go get your facial. Whatever it is you want to do, Barbie. Like whatever it is that makes you feel like a woman, go do that shit. Women get boob jobs. Like, I mean, women assigned at birth, females assigned at birth, they get boob jobs. They get liposuction. They get facelifts and their fucking extra skin tied back behind their ears. They get Botox. What else do women get? Or men even? What difference does it fucking make? It's not your body. It's not your problem. Fuck right off. And like, just stop using it as an excuse that you are threatened if you're a woman. That means you need to do better on yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. You're with the wrong man or woman. They're not, they're obviously bringing you down. You need to go to therapy, or you need to start looking inside yourself to find out why you feel so damn insecure about who you are. Like, nobody is going to make you, if you try to be in a relationship so that you can feel whole, we know as adults that that doesn't work. Another person will never make you whole. You have to work on yourself. So that means that another person who is who they are can't make you feel less whole either. It's you. It's all you. It's what's in here. It's what's in here. You make you. You decide how you're going to be. So this person over here who wants to express themselves as a woman or a man, it doesn't change me. It doesn't affect me. Why does it affect you? Ask yourself, why does it matter to you? Who fucking cares? Rant over.
We love your rants. There you have it. That's it for us this week. Catch us again on next week on Wednesday. And don't forget, Friday we'll be on for our space. So join us on Twitter Space if you're going to be there. Till then.
Oh, for now.
Till then, we got a little video for you. Enjoy.
I'm going marching, apparently. Whew, catch my breath here a minute.